It's NNX from the Northwestern News Network, where we give you your news faster than you can eat a bowl of mac and cheese. I'm Simone Garber.
And I'm Jeremy Fredericks. Let's get right into today's top stories.
Last week, the university made waves when it asked the city to do a zoning review to build a temporary football facility at the Lakeside Field Complex. Fans have speculated where NU might play home games during construction of Ryan Field, Soldier Field, SeatGeek Stadium, Wrigley Field, even Lambeau Field have all been floated. There are only about 3,000 seats at Martin Stadium, but Northwestern's proposal calls for up to 15,000 fans. According to the city, its review is likely to comply with zoning requirements, but that's just the start of the process. Northwestern Football kicks off its 2024 season against Miami on August 31st at home, wherever that home may be.
Main Dempster Mile in Evanston celebrated the start of renovations with a fiery event for all ages. The Touch a Truck event on Friday gave Evanstonians the opportunity to see service vehicles up close before the vehicles drive off to help renovation efforts. These efforts include new light poles, pavement on the sidewalks, and more environmentally friendly architecture. The event also encourages residents to visit small businesses on the mile before major reconstruction efforts begin. Construction is set to start this week and will continue through September.
A wood duck instead of an Easter bunny? Over the weekend, the Evanston Ecology Center and the Parks and Recreation Department put on an eco-friendly spin on the holiday. These aren't your ordinary Easter eggs. Made of wood instead of plastic, around 700 of them were scattered around Evanston's Eggleston Park for the annual Arboretum Egg Hunt. The wooden egg hunt was just one of several nature-related aspects of the event. Instead of candy-filled eggs, kids received a paper craft and went on an animal scavenger hunt. NNN's Allison Miller joins us now in the studio to tell us more. So, Allison, what kind of planning did it take to make this event possible?
So the people who were involved with the event, it was about 2 hours of setup before, but they actually started planning about in December and January of this year. So it takes a lot of time because the Parks and Recreation and Ecology Center try to change the egg hunt every year based on the feedback that they get from the community.
It sounds like a lot of preparation. Is the Ecology Center planning anything else this spring?
Yes, they are. So the Ecology Center's next special seasonal event is the Earth Day Fest on Saturday, April 20th. And it's actually celebrating the Ecology Center's 50th birthday this year as well. So there will be tree plantings, games, and a food truck.
Well, happy 50th birthday, Ecology Center, and thanks for covering, Allison.
Thank you.
Northwestern graduate workers approved a new contract with the university in March, which includes a pay raise, support for international grad students, and more health care benefits. But some say that's not enough. 73% of union members approved the new contract, but 27% voted against the agreement. Some graduate students led a Vote No campaign, concerned that the deal didn't cover dependent health care or address financial and safety concerns. NU grad workers will be making $45,000 per year starting in September. When this contract ends in 2027, NU workers will earn $47,000 compared to $52,000 earned by grad students at Brown and Yale.
We will be some of the poorest compensated graduate workers, unionized graduate workers in the country. I think we could have pushed for a lot more.
NUGW did not respond to NNN's request for comment.
Artificial intelligence is developing at a rapid pace, but how can we govern it? And should we be thinking of it more optimistically? Luis Castaneda brings us to last week's event, which featured a former White House official focusing on governing AI.
From what we see, hear,
the first toy I ever owned was a Barbie,
and pay attention to, AI is all around us. Northwestern's Institute for Policy Research hosted Dr. Alondra Nelson last Wednesday.
Having ideas and hearing people speak about it makes you insightful on what's happening.
Dr. Nelson worked with the Biden administration to create the blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights, a guideline that sets aside priorities like discrimination protections, notices when AI is being used, and human alternatives.
Not only can we do something about it if we want to harness the things that we think potentially are good and are coming, but that we must do something about it.
Now, she's focused on changing fearful narratives about artificial intelligence and talking about how we should govern it.
understanding that they don't have to be an expert in computer science to understand the stakes of what's happening with this technological transformation.
She touched on how AI can interfere with elections, like robocalls that recently targeted New Hampshire voters, pretending to be Biden, telling them not to vote. But she also remains optimistic about its uses.
I'm pretty interested and excited to see what young people will make of these tools.
Recently, use of AI in healthcare has shown to increase successes in cancer screenings.
Well, the reason to crack down is because of the fear and the unknowledge, but at the same time, there's an amazing opportunity for us to innovate.
Dr. Nelson also addressed pushback from big tech on regulating AI, something that also concerns NU professor Rayvon Fouché.
We have large tech firms deciding that they know what's best for not only the consumers, users, but humanity in general.
Fouché serves on the NU Data Science and AI Steering Committee.
Before we make the technologies, before we make the choices about how technologies and infrastructure will shape our lives, we can have a more co-produced, useful way of producing technologies.
Luis Castañeda, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Louis.
This past weekend, Northwestern University Dance Marathon celebrated its 50th anniversary, and it came with some changes. Organizers shortened the event to 15 hours and moved it to spring quarter. NUDM used to be 30 hours and held in the end of the winter. The organization also swapped venues, holding the event at Welsh Ryan Arena instead of the usual location on Norris Lawn. NUDM raised about $342,000. Annually, a portion of the funds goes to the Evanston Community Fund. And this year, the primary beneficiary is the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana.
It was really because of their focus on the entire family and how important family-centered care is for children as they're dealing with a hospital stay.
It sure looks like a lot of fun. Could you do NUDM, Simone?
You know, I think I could, but I get tired pretty easily. I don't know how long I could last for. How about you, Jeremy?
Probably 10 minutes.
10 minutes, really? I could do about 20.
Well, that's all for tonight on NNX. I'm Jeremy Fredericks.
And I'm Simone Garber. Stay tuned for the Northwestern News Report. Have a good night.